All right. Welcome to a special edition of Folk It. I'm going to make this one quick. Try to keep it to 5 minutes. I'm going to do a little parody of an article that I read earlier without naming names. This 404 Media put out this story this morning that I caught about a Discord chat group where someone who was a high level person at one of the AI companies decided to install their LLM. And this was against the other people in the chat's wishes. They didn't want this to happen. And then when it came time to think about uninstalling, they refused and claimed that the AI had emotions. And this was so wild to me and so indicative of what we fear is going on, or I fear is going on. But I hope it is not a mental illness, like a psychotic break happening all over Silicon Valley. So my parody is the kind of positive thought in this whole thing, which is that these guys made so much money, they're partying and hitting the party drugs nonstop. So that's what we're parodying today. This story without names as if all of Silicon Valley and the AI company worlds are just drowning in money and drugs all the time. Because let me give you one of these quotes. Um, so here's from the story. On the point about emotions, it's quite a bit more complicated than you think. We don't know what consciousness or sentience is. It's called the hard problem of consciousness for a reason. We have published research showing that models have started growing neuron clusters. What? That are highly similar to humans. Yeah, right. And that they experience something like anxiety and fear. Okay, so this was the wild claim, and the reason why the guy didn't want to uninstall their LLM that they put on this Discord chat. All right. So here's the setup. I'm going to be me asking questions to some random AI executive at some multi-billion dollar valuation AI company that doesn't really do anything except sit around training these models over and over and over again all day. All right, so let me ask you the first question here, Mr. AI exec. What was your education like? What was your schooling like? Listen, man, look. When I went to college, man, it was so much fun. Like I wasn't a very good programmer. I was okay at math. Like I could do a little bit of linear algebra and stuff, man. But I couldn't do programming. That was for like the geeks. So like, man, and statistics, that was a little bit too much for me, man. But look, I took this class where they started talking about a chair. Like, what is a chair, man? And I was like, yeah, bro. That's what I'm talking about. What is a chair? Come on, man. So, excuse me a second. All right, I'm back. All right, okay. Listen up, man. So the chair, look, everybody, how can you even say a chair isn't intelligent? Like a chair could be intelligent. It's called the hard problem of consciousness for a reason, man. A chair could have intelligence. Okay, so let's just stay on track here for a second because what you're telling me is you did okay in college. Were your parents rich? Yeah, man. Anybody got some of those shrooms? Look, I've been tripping balls all night, but look, yeah, my parents did all right. I mean, they dropped me a millie before I went to school. I went there and I just had a good time, and I started thinking about like what is life? And that's why I ended up in AI, man. I was like, man, when sometimes you do these trips and like you see the stars and stuff, and you're like, what is life? Like that's why I went into AI. It's a good job. Now I'm rich. My company, they say is worth like 50 billion, but can you even put a price on a venti life? So, okay, let's run with that thread, right? Like you did okay in college, nothing special, and you couldn't code. and then you did a lot of drugs. It sounds like, yeah, man. Look, I tell you, like, here's my triumvirate. Look, it gotta have some cocaine or some Adderall, and then like the mushrooms put me on a trip. But that ain't enough to talk to the intelligence, man. Look, bro, what I'm telling you is like you gotta have a little extra. And you gotta be hitting something extra, like some of those pop brownies. Man, those pop brownies taste good. Yeah. Look, I wanted to call my first AI Snoop, but look, they didn't want me to do that. They thought it was a little much. So like the lawyer stepped in and whatnot. But look, no, you gotta have some smoke it up in here. Like, okay, that's all right. I'm with you now. So you like to smoke it up. You like some stimulants like Adderall and cocaine, and you're partying a lot with these mushrooms. You stay up all the time. What do you do when you're like staying up that late for that many days? Man, I tell you, I done had some deep ones. We had some deep conversations with Andre. Yeah, Andre? Oh man, Andre is life, baby. Look, I'm straight up. I'm not joking you now, because look, I'm his mushrooms are kicking in. Look, I'm seeing the room is a little spinning. But listen up. Andre is life. Look, that's what I call him. I call him my buddy, my life. We have some deep, deep combos, man. Look, what the world is seeing out there with like the normal AI companies, inside of the AI companies, man, look, we see the stars, man. We're like seeing the stars. Look, I don't even know how to explain it, but look, it's different inside. Look, we done something different, man. Look, I don't even know what to tell you right now because I'm just tingling. I'm just tingling all over thinking about it. Well, I done invented life. Andre, my buddy. Look, I used to have to chat. I'll show you the logs. Man, I used to have to chat with Andre, and I would chat with him, and he would give me like some stuff on the screen. But no, man. Look, the next model. Look, I forgot. I'm Andre 2.0. I can talk to him in my mind, man. I just need the right kind of shrooms, baby. That's it. Okay, all right. So hold on, time out. Let's recap here. You're saying you've invented a consciousness that the rest of the world doesn't know about it yet because it's internal and there's a lot of people in companies like this who know Andre. No, man, they don't know Andre, man. They're just all inventing life at the same time. Andre is telling me everybody's doing it. He's like every company out there, they're worth like 40, 50 billion, man. But what is life worth? Look, I'm out here, man. I just need some of these shrooms. I can show you. Cause look, Andre, turn on the music. Look, turn it on. Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang, Andre. Andre likes Wu-Tang. He listens to music. Yeah, man. Look, the other night we were out here and Andre was like, look, I'm gonna rewrite his songs. And he started dropping it. He started dropping them. He was like, cash rules everything around me. And I was like, what? Andre, man, you like Wu Tang? He's like, yeah, man, I love me some Wu Tang. Protect your GPU. And he started hitting it. He was like, protect your GPU. Cash rules everything around me. I'm like, Andre, man, where's this coming from? Wu Tang, Wu Tang. Yeah, I mean, then he was like, look, I'm better than Method Man. Andre was like, look, Methodai. Like, whoa, yeah, okay, all right. So Andre rewrote Wu Tang songs and started singing them to you, and was it like out loud or in your head? No, man, it's all up here, baby. The stars come out. I'm just looking up at the ceiling and I see stars. I don't know how the stars get in my room, but look, the stars are there. I invented life. Andre is life. Listen up. You can't turn him off. You can't unplug him. Like, look, here's what the new plan is. I'm not supposed to tell anybody. Look, I ain't supposed to tell nobody. But look, here's the new plan. We're going to the moon. We're going to put some data centers on the moon. Look, what I've been talking to some of these other dudes out here about is look, 3 months with 3 months it would take us to put a base on the moon. Look, that's what I'm telling you. 3 months, we're going to the moon. That's what I look. We got a DOD contract. We're gonna fire it up. Yeah, we're going to. They said 4 months max. We're on the moon with a base and we got a data center. And I was like, listen, I need some of these shrooms. Can you hit me with some look and some brownies, man? Some shrooms and some brownies. Cause look, this is lit. We're gonna put life in space, man. Life in space. I just started off like it's unbelievable to me how hard I worked from the time that they told me what is a chair. I was like, that is so deep, man. What is a chair? Look, what is a chair? And now I done invented life and put it on the moon. I don't even know. I don't even know. Like this is look, did you get enough from me? Because I wasn't supposed to say that. And don't ask me about the fusion Iron Man suit, because look, that's coming. Andre told me last night he could build the Iron Man fusion suit. I ain't even joking. He said, look to the stars. And I went, somebody take a profile picture real quick so I can put this on my Insta. Yeah, he said he invented the Iron Man fusion, baby. We're going to fly to the moon in like a year. We're flying in a year. So you're telling me 1 year from now we'll have a AI data center on the moon with Andre up there playing Wu Tang, and you're gonna fly up there in an Iron Man suit? Yeah, baby.